Some people had childhoods and some people had jobs. In this video, we're covering 8 signs you were given a job instead of a childhood. Signs that don't look like jobs because by now they show up as your personality, your habits, and the way you move through your relationships. I'm Jerry Wise, and for over 45 years, I've helped hundreds of thousands of people heal and get their families out of them by practicing self-differentiation. The process of becoming your true self and releasing the false self you were trained to be in your family of origin. Sign number 1. You say yes before you've even checked with yourself or checked with your own reality. Growing up, your answer was decided before the question even finished. Someone in your family needed something, and you agreed. Fast, automatic, before you'd taken a second to ask whether you wanted to or whether you even had to give in. In your family, stopping to consider yourself first wasn't really allowed. Saying no created friction and a problem you'd end up cleaning up anyway. So you skipped your own vote and went straight to yes. Agreeing on cue was part of the job. So now the yes still arrives before you do. Someone asks you for your time, your energy, your help, and you've already agreed, already committed, before the part of you that knows you're depleted ever gets a word in. The resentment shows up later. So does the guilt for feeling it, because no one ever taught you that your own answer was allowed to come first. You learn to abandon yourself the moment someone needed something, and that training still answers before you can. Sign number 2. You feel most comfortable when someone needs you. Your family wasn't just a group of people who lived together. It was a system, an emotional unit running on assigned roles, unspoken rules, and anxiety that moved between everyone like a current. And in that system, your value was tied to your function. A family is an emotional story that is always being written. When someone needed you, you knew exactly where you stood. You had a place. You were safe, no matter how unhealthy that might have been. So when someone needs you now, and that ease settles in, what you're feeling is a systems feeling. It's the signal your family wired into you that said you belong when you're useful. And a systems feeling doesn't stay back in the family that built it. It comes with you into every relationship, to every workplace, to every religious group you're a part of, to every committee you're a part of, to any organization. Being needed was always something you knew how to do. Being wanted is something you're still learning. Sign number 3. Your childhood memories feel more like a resume than a childhood. Ask yourself what you actually remember about growing up. Not what just happened to you, not just what you did, who you looked after, what you managed, what role you held in the family. If you can describe your function far more clearly than you can describe a single moment or just being a kid, playing with no purpose, existing with no job to do, then that is not a coincidence. Your childhood came with a job description, and the resume you carry from it is detailed. So when someone asks you what your childhood was like, you describe what you did instead of how you felt to be there. You can list the role, you just can't quite find the child who is underneath it. In that family, your role always mattered more than you did. Sign number 4. You still don't know how to just be. I certainly myself, I knew how to do. I didn't know how to be. That was very difficult and a very difficult concept for me. Rest wasn't a category that existed for you growing up. Not real rest, the kind with no agenda attached to it. Play was fine as long as it didn't pull you offline. Downtime was allowed as long as the system didn't need you. But the second something needed doing, the idle time, the rest, was the first thing to go. And you learned, without anyone ever saying it out loud, that existing with no purpose was something you couldn't quite afford. These days, doing nothing produces a very specific kind of anxiety, one you've probably mistaken for ambition. The moment you stop being productive, something in you starts negotiating, finding the next task, filling the quiet. The job your family gave you didn't come with days off. And part of you is still reporting for work every morning. Sign number 5. You have no idea what you actually want. Your family's job description didn't include a section on your preferences. What you wanted wasn't part of the work. What mattered was what the system needed. What would keep things stable? What would settle the people whose mood set the weather in your home? You got extraordinarily good at reading what everyone else needed, and you stayed completely unpracticed at knowing what you needed or wanted. Now, when someone asks you what you want, there's a pause that goes deeper than indecision. You scan for what's easiest for them. You offer up what works for everyone else and call it not minding either way. You do have preferences. You were just never taught that they were a part of the job. And that connects directly to the next point. Sign number 6. You automatically step in before anyone asks. Picture this. You're at a family dinner. On the surface, everything seems fine. Then something shifts. A pause that runs a half a second too long. A change in someone's tone so small, most people at the table wouldn't catch it. But you catch it, and you caught it. And before a single word has been said, you're already adjusting, already softening, already stepping into the space before the tension can land. What you're reading in that moment is chronic anxiety, the low-level tension that ran through your home like background noise and never fully switched off. In a narcissistic family, that tension is the system's resting state. And your job was to catch it before it spiked. Who learned to read a room so early and so completely that anticipating everyone became a second nature? The peacemaker, the calm one. It's a real skill, but it isn't who you are. It was trained into you by the system that needed someone to absorb the tension nobody else would. The next one is a hard one to talk about. Sign number 7. You are not allowed to be sick. Maybe not totally allowed to be sick. Maybe you were allowed a little fever. Maybe you could miss a day. But even then, something in the house shifted when you weren't functioning. You could feel the impatience and the quiet pressure to get well faster, like your needs had become an inconvenience. Your job being a child didn't make room for sick days. As an adult, being taken care of feels foreign to you. Asking for help is something you consider for a while and then apologize for. When someone genuinely offers to carry something for you, part of you doesn't quite know how to let them help you. You learn to handle your own pain quietly because needing care, even once, was enough to make you a burden in the system that had already handed all of the caregiving to you. Your pain or suffering had to wait because the job never did. Sign number 8. You confuse exhaustion with love. In your family, love looked like a sacrifice. The more you gave, the more you belonged. The more depleted you were, the more proof there was that you cared. Being worn out wasn't a warning sign. It was evidence you were doing the job right. And so love and exhaustion got encoded in the very same places within you. Today, the relationships that don't cost you much feel a little shallow. You trust the ones that drain you because drain has always been the texture of belonging. And when someone loves you with ease, asking for very little, part of you doesn't quite believe it. Not because it isn't real, but because the love you were trained to recognize always came with a weight attached. That's not love, that's the job. And the difference matters because one of them is something you can finally put down. None of what you just heard is who you are. Every one of these signs is something you learned, something the system built into you before you had the language to push back. But the job is not an identity. And the work now isn't to manage these patterns or put more distance between you and your family that installed them. Distance alone won't do it, because the job didn't stay behind with the family. It came with you. The real work is self-differentiation, getting the system out of you, releasing the false self your family trained you to hold, and coming home to the person who is there underneath the job description all along. And that work is absolutely possible. Let me share a couple of self-differentiation tips. It's not easy at the beginning to see a difference between our programming and us. If you begin to learn to see how external this programming is, you will get stronger and stronger over time. We need to also ask, are you fulfilling your roles of what others have expected of you? Or are you fulfilling your purpose, values, beliefs, and becoming your true self? These are important questions to ask. And remember, there are two ways to become more of your true self. Begin to know you, work on learning and knowing about you. There's a great book called Inner Bonding by Dr. Margaret Paul. I might recommend that to you. And begin to choose what you believe, feel, want, and need. There are many messages that can confuse us. And I like her title of the book, Inner Bonding. I'm bonding with me. Reduce your time and energy around toxic and unhealthy people. Dysfunctional family message, we need you and we have a plan for your life. Controlling friends might have the message, I know you and I have the best plan for you. Unhealthy partners, we are together now and I have a plan for your life. Unhealthy bosses, I'm the boss and you need to do what I say while you're here at work. Everyone has a reason to want to program or control you. Ending this is choosing to work on your self-differentiation. If you're ready to finally break free and start living with clarity, peace, and a grounded connection to your true self. And remember, there are two ways to become more of your true self. Begin to know you, work on learning and knowing about you. There's a great book called Inner Bonding by Dr. Margaret Paul. I might recommend that to you. And begin to choose what you believe, feel, want, and need. There are many messages that can confuse us. And I like her title of the book, Inner Bonding. I'm bonding with me. Reduce your time and energy around toxic and unhealthy people. Dysfunctional family message, we need you and we have a plan for your life. Controlling friends might have the message, I know you and I have the best plan for you. Unhealthy partners, we are together now and I have a plan for your life. Unhealthy bosses, I'm the boss and you need to do what I say while you're here at work. Everyone has a reason to want to program or control you. Ending this is choosing to work on your self-differentiation. If you're ready to finally break free and start living with clarity, peace, and a grounded connection to your true self, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new video. I want to thank you for watching.